This week in pro wrestling is actually starting off with a decent Monday Night Raw. So you guys know the deal. We are talking data and all the latest wrestling news or rumors and reports. A lot to talk about as we head into the WWE draft. So hit those notifications and let's get into it. And let's start off by discussing all the latest for the WWE draft that is set to start this week on Friday Night SmackDown and then concluding on Monday Night Raw for the two-night event. Compared to previous years, right now there's multiple reports indicating that NXT will be involved in the draft to quote-unquote refreshen up the roster of Raw and SmackDown. The report is that many call-ups will be happening and not necessarily that NXT will be getting a quote-unquote third night of the draft. NXT has of course undergone a rebranding as of late, so it's gonna be interesting to see who they draft, but most of the speculation is that a lot of the veterans from that brand will be getting drafted to make NXT even more of an actual developmental brand. We know that Aaliyah has quote-unquote been called up, much like Austin Theory, although they haven't been used on Raw or SmackDown. Two other names that we could be seeing under Blue and Red brand are Dakota Kai and Io Shirai. So WWE has a lot of options right now because there are a lot of NXT superstars that have been on NXT for quite a while, and because they really want to freshen up both of the roster brands right now, do expect some of those call-ups. Onto an even bigger report on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio. It was reported that Fox and USA Networks are informed of the key people, the major top stars that will be switching brands. One of those names is Drew McIntyre. Local ads have advertised Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre for the Universal Championship, and the match has not been officially announced. It may just be a dark match, but it does hint that Drew McIntyre will possibly be getting drafted to SmackDown. Even though Drew McIntyre did show up at the end of Monday Night Raw this week, hinting at the fact that he wants the WWE Championship once again. Another big names is of course Big E. With Big E being WWE Champion, him being drafted to Raw is expected to be formally announced. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, is expected to stay on Friday night. Big E moving to Monday Night Raw and Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown has been a rumor for quite a while now, so this is not really a surprise. The last big name on this list is Bobby Lashley, and as indicated by WrestlingNews.co, it does seem like Lashley is going to be moving to SmackDown, hopefully alongside the rest of the Hurt Business. On this week's episode of Raw, Bobby Lashley lost again to the WWE Champion, and as they indicate, oftentimes when someone is about to get drafted, they will get booked to lose multiple matches, with the idea being that fans will forget about the losses and they will get a fresh start on their new brand. With so many hints recently of Bobby Lashley taking on Roman Reigns, that is a money feud right there, and we know that Roman Reigns is gonna need some top talent on the blue brand, so this will really be a good catch for SmackDown. Could also means that we will get the Bloodline taking on the Hurt Business for months to come. So that is all the latest backstage news in regards to the WWE draft. A lot could change in the next couple of days, so we will see what goes down on that first night of the draft. Moving into some quick news and an unexpected one here, looks like Alexa Bliss is going to be taking several months off from WWE and even getting a brand new gimmick or going back to her old one. At Extreme Rules, WWE gave us hints that Alexa Bliss will be getting a character makeover and dropping the gimmick that was born when she started aligning herself with Bray Wyatt. Wrestling Inc. is reporting that Alexa Bliss is set to take time off from WWE television. They are going as far as indicating that she will be out for a few months. There's no reason up to why that is the case, so do take it with a grain of salt for the time being. The reports did add that upon her return, things are going to be different. She is not going to be this Fiend character anymore. The plan is to drop all of that and likely go back to what Alexa Bliss was before. Someone else who's getting a big change, that is Keith Lee, and we got to see it this week on Monday Night Raw as he debuted his brand new gimmick, Keith Bearcat Lee. It was not made clear on the show that Keith Lee is a heel, but during the post-show promo on Raw Talk, it was strongly hinted that he is now on the heel side of the roster, adding that his current mission is the same, but that the person they thought they knew is ever so slightly different. As report been indicating, WWE wants to give Keith Lee a monster push, so this heel turn is going to be made more clear as the week goes on and as he continues to destroy people on Raw or SmackDown, depending where he gets drafted to. A lot of talks right now in regards to some faction breaking up on AEW. We know that the Inner Circle has more or less gone their separate ways, although they're still a unit, and it seems like the same is happening with the Pinnacle. After feuding with the Inner Circle and losing out in that exchange, the future of MJF, Wardlow, FTR, and Sean Spears as a unit seems unclear. This has now been called into question even more when Sean Spears sent out the following tweet: "Well, I guess I'll just have to do it myself again." AEW actually retweeted this post, so it doesn't seem like this tweet was unplanned, and obviously it's too soon to speculate whether or not they're going to be splitting up, but MJF and Wardlow have been separated from the rest of the Pinnacle since All Out, and instead of keeping quiet and going their separate ways, it's kind of being hinted that the unit's going to split off. Sean Spears tweeting this out, MJF and Wardlow not necessarily getting along together, because we all know it's gonna happen. Wardlow is gonna stop saving MJF one of these days. We will see how they approach this. Maybe they're gonna take a similar action like with the Inner Circle, where Tony Khan didn't want to split them up. He just decided for each of them to go in their separate ways while still being a unit. And time to talk some Monday Night Raw, which was a bit of an eventful night this week. Once again, Monday Night Raw is kind of stepping it up on a weekly basis, and I'm all down for that. It actually started off with a banger, WWE Champion Big E taking on Bobby Lashley, but this ended in a no contest because the Hurt Business is back. And all I can say is a thank you, WWE, for doing the right thing. You should have never split up the Hurt Business. I'm so happy that they are back together, because looking back at it, just like a lot of things in WWE, it didn't make sense for you to break them up in the first place, because you haven't done anything with Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander when you could have easily kept them with Bobby and MVP. Nonetheless, all of this involvement led to the big main event, which is going to be a steel cage match for the WWE Championship. We had Angel Garza defeating Eric of the Viking Raiders. 24/7 championship match, Reggie taking on Ricochet. I was excited for this. I wanted this to last 4 to 5 minutes, because they probably could have given us a crazy high-flying type of action matchup. But of course it ended in a no contest because of the 24/7 shenanigans. After that, Akira Tozawa did an open challenge, which Keith Bearcat Lee accepted, and of course Keith Lee destroyed Akira Tozawa. We had the United States Champion Damian Priest defeating Sheamus in a no disqualification, no countouts match. By the way, in case you didn't know, this week's Monday Night Raw was actually more extreme than Extreme Rules pay-per-view that happened a day earlier. Awesome matchup between these two, and Damian Priest picked up the victory. We had Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky defeating Jeff Hardy, Mansoor, and Mustafa Ali. What a matchup we got next. Karen Cross defeated Jackson Riker. Another awesome matchup tonight. We got AJ Styles defeating the Raw Tag Team Champion Riddle. AJ Styles, you know, out of nowhere just dropping a burning hammer and always spicing it up. These two got some really good chemistry in the ring, and tonight they proved it once again. Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair did an open challenge, which Doudrop accepted and got defeated because of the involvement of Eva Marie. Charlotte Flair after also took out Eva Marie. She then complained in the ring, and then she was taken out by Shayna Baszler. Shayna is officially one of the biggest babyface on Raw, because she's taking out some of the heels that we don't really want to see right now. And then for the main event, WWE Champion Big E defeated Bobby Lashley in a 30-minute or so steel cage match. Another banging matchup on Monday Night Raw. We did have the involvement of the New Day and the Hurt Business on this, but in the end we had Big E delivering a big ending from the top rope. winning the match by pinfall. And before Monday Night Raw goes off the air, as Big E is celebrating, out comes Drew McIntyre. He points the sword at Big E. Hopefully he doesn't split him, but clearly Drew McIntyre wants a WWE Championship opportunity once again. Now that Bobby's out of the picture, that is something that he is able to do. So that is what went down on this week's Raw and all the latest wrestling news and rumors. If you enjoy, hit a like on the video, and of course turn on those notifications for more. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.